there have been many hairy moments in my life and career. I've been arrested in Uzbekistan for 5 days. I've been held at gunpoint. I've been stuck in a militia-run town. Some of these are instances that you can try and factor for.
What or who first inspired your passion for adventuring?
For me, it was really something quite simple. It was a simple climbing weekend at the age of 18. We were taken up to the Lake Districts with an outbound instructor, and I went rock climbing for the very first time. It was my first experience of the outdoors, and I was instantly gripped. From that experience, I was looking at university at that time. I decided to sign up to an outdoor leadership course, a 3-year bachelor's course, and then led on to this whole career of adventure. But the thing I do remind myself very often of when I'm now leading teams is that leader probably had no idea of the catalyst that he set in motion on that day, the simple rock climbing trip in the Lake District. And it really was that moment that quite literally changed my life. And so I must remind myself actually to reach out to that leader and say a big thank you. But it's a reminder for me of the power of these experiences for your teams.
And which leadership skills do you need to be an adventurer?
The big thing I talk about with leadership in adventure is understanding motivations. I do speak to a lot of leaders who tell me they only want their team to be fully motivated and focused on the specific goals that they have in the workplace. But one of the things I always try to understand when I've got a team and we're about to set off on a journey for the first time is what motivates them quite specifically. And if you do delve into individual motivations, I find that you can get so much more out of your team. Some people may want to learn to navigate, others may want to pick up some language skills, others may want to understand the decision-making process that I'm going through. And so by factoring in all of the individual motivations of your team, I just find that you have a much greater chance of pulling them together, of getting them on task, and really getting people fired up for big, challenging adventures.
While on an expedition, how do you practice positive mental health and well-being?
That is such an important question, and especially in the modern era, I think. For me, when you're leading expeditions in remote and hostile places with a team of maybe 10, 12 people, there are always a million things going through your mind. How is this person feeling today? Are there any injury concerns? What time do we need to meet the following guide? What time do we need to get up in the morning? And there are a million considerations all at once, and it can be easy to be overwhelmed. I think it's really important as a leader to be able to take brief moments, even if it's only 5-10 minutes, to read a book, to do some exercise, to have a cold shower. That's one of my 2021 obsessions, just to get that detox and get that refreshed mind ready to go again. So taking time out, taking a bit of a moment to yourself to reframe, to recollect, think about what your priorities are, and go again.
Can you describe an experience while adventuring where your life was at risk, and how did you overcome the danger?
Well, there have been many hairy moments in my life and career. I've been arrested in Uzbekistan for 5 days. I've been held at gunpoint. I've been stuck in a militia-run town. Some of these are instances that you can try and factor for and plan around. But one circumstance which completely caught me off guard was in Indonesia. And this was just a holiday, actually. But we were caught in a 6.9 magnitude earthquake late at night, sat at a restaurant on the beachfront, and all of a sudden, this enormous earthquake erupts. And it was a very frightening moment, because there we were on the beach. The entire building was shaking. Everybody rushed outside. Locals were screaming from across the villages. And as soon as the tremors stopped, then it was a case of zoning in on what's most important. And this is a principle which I do carry forward in lots of different circumstances. It is, what is priority number one right in that moment? And so for us, we knew there was potentially a tsunami risk. We started to see people moving up the hillside. So it was a case of grabbing our things as quickly as possible. I ended up rallying the other hotel guests and leading them up the hillside. And then it was waiting it out. It's okay, we need to get some reliable news sources. So everybody was on their phones trying to get signal. We were struggling for signal. We used a local's phone. We managed to get some reliable news sources, and then taking it step by step, at each point asking myself, what is priority number one? And again, that is something I come back to even in daily life, sitting down at the computer in the morning thinking, okay, what's priority number one? No, it's probably not checking my my LinkedIn or Instagram page, as tempting as it is, but focusing on those priority number ones at every turn is often what can get you through.